Hello, Pisces. Welcome. It's great to see everybody today. So good to see a lot of people in the chat room already. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Beautiful symbols that came through for you today. We're going to be talking about Jasmine, the flower, which has a really interesting connection to your sign because Aphrodite is related to that. All of this kind of ties into Pisces. So I can't wait to talk about your totems and your channel messages. There's been a lot. And I'm a couple minutes late because I was doing all the research associated with, sometimes when I get a totem and I do the research, it's just like one synchronicity after another. And that's what was coming through for you today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ashbaugh. This is for Pisces. You can use it for sun, rising, moon, and Venus, which is appropriate today because actually Venus or Aphrodite came through. And we'll also be looking at something here for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So the way that I devised this is that you can come back and look at it. I know that my readings run a little bit longer than most, but it's because you're getting 3 or 4 main parts together. So I create it as a sort of resource that you can come back and revisit any parts or all of it if you'd like. The beginning part of it is going to be just me working with my intuition. And I'll give you a quick preview here. We have a lot to talk about on the table here. So this is basically everything that came through this morning, and it comes through dreams, meditations, and then the act of automatic writing. And I like that part because it's very intuitive. So we work with intuitive information first, then I move along to the cards after that, and I'll take a look at blessings and potential challenges for the month ahead, giving you what you need to navigate and make the best choices. I let that take on any sort of flavor that it needs to. It's not just love. It's not just career. I instead will expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny right afterwards. So you'll get a nice big chunk there. In the first hour, you're going to get psychic downloads and all of the cards. Then what I do is a quick recap. And the reason that I do a recap is people join at all different times. But also, if you ever want to come back and revisit the video, you can look at that. And for those of you that have shorter attention spans, you can just come back and look at the recap. And hopefully it inspires you to listen to more of it. I would say the channeled information at the very least and the recap, because there's some really important things that come through in the channeled part. Sometimes when people say the reading begins when the cards do, I'm like, no, it doesn't. It actually begins when I start talking about the channeled messages. Anyway, after we do the recap, then we'll go a little deeper into the soul path, which gives me a chance to help you with the bigger issues that are presenting themselves. Usually we'll look at 2 plus a wild card. Then I will help you meditate for about 2 minutes, and we'll go and answer a question that you might have. If there's something that you are working on, it's just a silent question, and I'll answer it at the end. So that's your journey that you'll be taking with me today. Again, you can use this for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I hope you enjoy. All right, before I get started, let me just get my table set up here and talk about how you can give back if you would like to. I forgot to pin my website here. I'll do it in just a second. But if you would like to show support while you're watching the video, I see there's already some new channel members, by the way. So welcome to anybody that's brand new. Welcome to everybody that has consistently shown up from month to month. And again, if you're brand new, good to see you. The way that I use Super Chat is basically, it's just a way to give back and support the channel. I don't answer questions. I know there's some readers out there that do sort of like Q&A with the Super Chat. For here, it just works as a thank you, sort of like gratuity or tip. So if you like what you see, you can use that. I see it. I look at everything afterwards. I do go through the chat and scan through all the comments and look at all of the things that you guys say. So thank you. Again, you can click join if you would like to do it. It's a nice way to set it and forget it. If you watch all 15 of my videos, this is only $4.99 per month. It's a great way to kind of give back. You can also do the applaud feature. It's not available on iOS yet, but everywhere else it is. And it's between the like and share buttons. And then my website, which I'm going to put a link to just now. So let me do the link, and then I'm going to get started on the reading for today. How's everyone doing? I hope that you're feeling good and that you're ready to receive the messages here. I definitely feel some great energy coming through for you. Okay, put my glasses on and let's get started. We're going to start with the totems, which I kind of already hinted at a bit. So let me pull up my iPad just to kind of show the plant totem, and then we're going to also be using something in mythology as well today. So Jasmine is your totem, and if you're in any kind of, this is a beautiful flower. It actually doesn't even originate here. It has Persian origins, but now in most warm climates, you can pretty much find this plant. It is so fragrant. It is really, really sweet. A little bit goes a long way. And if you ever walk by one of the bushes, let me see if I can find a picture. It's kind of like a vine, it climbs. It can be really intense. There's a few streets here in LA where I've had to kind of like, it's good sometimes if you're wearing a mask because it's intense, but it's very sweet. It's beautiful. And a little bit goes a long way. That's one of the things that I kind of saw with this. As I started to do some research, it is associated with Aphrodite, and there was a lot of information that came up with Aphrodite. So I'll talk about that as we get into it. But let's begin with Jasmine. Again, the etymology, because I'm a geek and I like to know these things, it's from Farsi or Persian, and it kind of found its way through Arabic to French, and that's kind of how we got the current spelling of it. So like Yasmin, but we say Jasmine in English. So anyway, really cool to kind of know the etymology. Now let's get into what it means for you. So as I looked up the etymology for it, the meaning of it is gift from God, or gift of God, or God's gift, which is really auspicious. And like the Four of Cups, what I was seeing with this, that's what came into my third eye when I read that. So I think there might be a hidden blessing, a hidden gift. God isn't always straightforward when it sends us something. A lot of times we have to learn how to decode or discern what does that mean for me. So this is really a chance for you to kind of stay open. If you keep your eyes open and if you sort of expect the unexpected or look beyond your expectations, I should say, then you have the ability to pick up on something that could be beautiful. Apollo makes me laugh. He completely moved his bed right behind me. Okay, so the next piece that we want to talk about is what the jasmine essential oils can be used for. So it's an anti-inflammatory. It's good for relaxation. Because it's associated with Aphrodite, of course, aphrodisiac and antiseptic as well. There's some other things too, if you look it up. I think it seems to be able to do almost anything, as with many essential oils, but those were the main things that I kind of picked up on. Let's talk about the association with Aphrodite. It doesn't surprise me since it has that very sweet smell, even Cupid as well. I would say this can symbolize new love in your life, but just like the scent here, I would say the intoxication or the intoxicating fragrance reminds you that a little goes a long way, and pacing is going to be really important in your life right now. So try to ground yourself, try to be sort of mindful of moderation. Little goes a long way. And this is true of all things. Like if you decide all of a sudden, I'm going to get fit and I'm going to work out every day, try to make sure that you don't blow a muscle, make sure you're stretching and taking care of yourself and changing up the routine a little bit. When it comes to eating or drinking, it's also about exercising moderation and not going overboard in any particular aspect of your life. Same thing with work. So the answer to this card would be sort of like the Six of Pentacles. I prefer that to the Two of Pentacles because it's about deciding a little here, a little there, and I'm going to make sure that I have enough for me to like just balance overall, because the scales are on that card. Or justice, making a decision that makes sense. Okay, because of Jasmine and its association with Aphrodite, which is associated with love, you're going to be much better at manifesting than you usually are. I mean, you can put your mind to it and develop that skill anytime you'd like, but there's some sort of special opening that's happening for Pisces right now that's going to help. So it's definitely enhanced, and you can use it for partnerships of all sorts. It's not just love. So for those of you that are trying to do something at work, this is a great time to find someone who can help you. Can also help you resolve any conflicts that might be existing. It's really just a good energy overall to bring forth abundance. So, but one thing that I would say here for this to really work for you is that your heart has to be engaged. If you don't feel it, people are going to be able to just tell. They're going to sniff that out and say, that person really isn't feeling it. I'm not feeling it either. So this is a time when you can't really fake something that you don't feel. So this could come through in work and relationships where people can just tell there's something going on where you're not yourself, you're not fully there. So if it's happening, it's better to address it and talk to them and try to resolve it, because again, your conflict negotiation skills are at a heightened place, and your energy is just a lot easier to be around. So I feel like you can work through it. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Aphrodite and some of the energy and positive things about how she can help you this month. So as I was doing research on her creation myth, there's a couple. One of them is that she was born from the sort of frothy waves of the sea after one of the Titans was thrown into the sea. And that's why when you look at some of the old paintings, you'll see her atop of a seashell, right? I always wondered that. And I remember studying mythology, but I forgot the creation myth. There's a couple, though, as I started to look into it, but that's one of them, is that she was born from the sea. So that explains a lot there, actually. For you, this makes so much sense because water, hello, Pisces. But this month, I feel like you want to be able to sort of experience things and let them flow through you. That frothy part at the end oftentimes is after the wave has crashed. So I feel like this month, what you'll be trying to navigate is making sure that you're not going to extremes. It's kind of like the 9 of Cups card. So how can you maintain energy, sort of like a long distance run rather than a sprint? Trying to stretch it out. And then also sometimes just being lifted up. There's an effervescence with those sort of bubbles. So trying to get to the top, trying to kind of stay above things when I'm thinking of the frothy energy of the sea. I didn't even put it in the cards, but that's what's coming right now. So finding a way to lift yourself up, to find a levity in a situation, and to really just continue to kind of ride that nice in the middle sort of energy, not go too high, not go too low, because that crashing energy of the wave, it's crash and burn sometimes. So when I was talking about making sure that you don't go to extremes, that also applies to, again, working too hard, because you can sometimes burn the candles just so far, and then all of a sudden you have to sleep for like 15 hours or something, and you really don't want to get into that if you don't have to. Fun sort of connection to Pisces as I started to research this, which I wasn't aware of prior to this, but Aphrodite and Cupid escaped an encounter with the monster Typhon by either transforming into 2 fish and swimming away, or riding atop a couple of fish to safety. And as gratitude, they put the fish into the stars, basically. So hello, Pisces, you're related to Aphrodite and Cupid, depending if what creation myth you want to look at. So love is definitely a key thing. Love, relationship, mending and building, and using your sort of your charismatic and attractive qualities this month to make things work. So Libra can use a lot of words, but you can use your heart, you can use your charisma, you can pull people into your energy. Aphrodite is a very engaging energy, so that's a really good sort of thing to come through for you this month. Now, because I learned a little bit more about the 2 fish, which could actually represent mother and child in a moment of crisis, actually, because they were trying to escape Mount Olympus when this monster was attacking. Healing is going to be important when it comes to mother and child relationships. So focus on that over the next 6 to 8 weeks, getting things, and it could just also be parental. Maybe it's not about your mom, it could be about your dad, but we had mother and child here. So I would say parental energy is going to be really important to focus on. And there also could be someone that's in need of your help. Maybe you owe them something. Maybe this is a way to repay karmic debt. Maybe you just want to pay it forward like the fish did. In that case, something good can come out of that. The fish ended up being a constellation, so you never know what can happen. So be there. If you can lend a hand, lend a hand. If you need help, ask for help. I have something here I'll jump to at the end, because it kind of it really kind of makes sense right here and right now. There was something where I saw you trying to put a package together, but the tape wouldn't hold. It just felt like the thing was falling apart. The message here was that you couldn't be the glue holding someone or something together. So you either need to let it go or ask for help, or a combination of the two. This could have to do with a key relationship in your life. You could just also be exerting sort of like Empress type energy, High Priestess type energy, right? So for you, sometimes there's this desire to kind of put all that love out there and try to make everything better. But sometimes you've got to let a person, place, or thing like come to you for the help that it needs or that they need. In a situation, I've talked about this with work sometimes, you can work yourself to exhaustion, or you can kind of try to hold on to something until it just doesn't make sense anymore. So if you're understaffed and your boss doesn't recognize that, just let some deadlines slip and communicate it ahead of time. Say, can't get done, working already 10 hours. You're going to have to find someone else to do this. I can't do it. And when they start missing deadline after deadline after deadline, they're going to find someone because they're going to get in trouble. And if they fire you, they're not going to have anyone to do anything. And if they're not going to listen to you in general, you already need to start to look for a new place. So if you're trying to do too much and you're doing too much all the time, we don't want you to get into sort of like a 10 of swords moment. So it's important to manage up and say, this isn't realistic and it's not maintainable. And this is what I'm going to do. And I need help. So either ask for help, let something go, do something this month to kind of find the balance. Okay, that's what I would say there. Side note with this, because I got some very specific imagery in dreams last night. That was a dream message. This is also a dream message. If there's something that I think that over the past year, for those of you that are working in a job, whether it's telework or now you're back in person, the people haven't been as sort of stringent on clocking in and clocking out or certain hours. I feel like for some of you, if you try to get away with something, like no one's going to notice if I just leave early and head out and do this, it will catch up with you this month. So don't try to sneak away. No Seven of Swords energy. And if someone's doing that to you, just let them know I see you. This is your warning. Don't do it again, basically. So for you, I'm warning you ahead of time that if there's a commitment or an expectation, you best be there for that, and then you can go have fun. Because I just saw it. I saw someone saying you were supposed to be there. So don't try to get away with stuff this month. You're charming, and you can probably charm your way out of that a little bit, but it's still going to be sort of it could be a negative mark if you're working somewhere and you don't want that to happen. Basically, if we kind of put this into the elevated sense, it's just really about honesty and accountability. And if you make an error, just say, yeah, you're right. No worries. It won't happen again. That'll be fine. If you're receiving constructive feedback, there's not really a desire from the other person's point of view for an argument or even to really get feedback. They just want to know that you heard what they said. So if you just let them know that you're listening, yes, and that you're integrating that into the future, that's all they need to hear. If you try to put it back on them, that's where things will go bad. It's just sort of like, no, I'm just actually giving you some feedback. This wasn't up for conversation. And sometimes we have those moments where the person isn't open to listening. There'll be another opportunity in the future, or you can just prove them wrong with your work habits and everything after that. But sometimes there's not the window for communication there. So use your charm, use your accountability, your honesty, and just you'll be able to charismatically get through a situation if you have a tricky one. But arguing will not be the way, especially if they were right, or if they just want you to listen and say, I'll consider it. That's all you have to say. Thank you. The feedback has been heard. That's it. They can move on. You can move on. Okay. And I've been seeing this across all signs. But to me, I was looking at a collection of souls, and I watched as they went through 2 or 3 incarnations, and I kept seeing the same lesson. It was kind of like I was looking at a game reset where everyone was in the same positions, and it's like you haven't learned your lesson yet. So this time it's kind of like the 3rd time around for some of you. There's a karmic lesson, and let's complete it this time. There's going to be a familiarity, kind of like this deja vu energy, where you think like, I feel like I've done this before. I feel like I know what to do. Yes, you do. Yes, you have. This is the time to make it better, make it easy. So trust what you need to. Let your sort of higher self come through if you want to. All right, let's move into the Celtic Cross. I'm just gonna straighten up this deck because it's driving me crazy. All right, and let's take a look now at the Celtic Cross and then see the additional messages that are gonna come through. I will review all of this at the midpoint, but one of the things to look at here with this is, I really like the energy of Aphrodite and Jasmine because it is attractive. It is, again, charismatic. It is bringing abundance and love to you. And the only thing that we kind of got here was realizing that accountability is going to be important, honesty, transparency, and that there comes a point sometimes where other people have to put something into the equation. So you can't be the glue or the tape that's trying to keep this together. It's like Humpty Dumpty at a certain point. That eggshell just is going to fall apart. So if that's already happened, it's the tower. Just let it go, and then try to find a way to deal with the aftermath of it. Because if you're constantly trying to hold everything up, it gets exhausting, doesn't it? I think we've all been in situations like that where you can just see it crumbling. So There you go. All right, let's take a look at the cards and see what messages are coming through. Again, Sun, Rising, Moon, and definitely Venus today, since that's the god that came through, actually. So. There's the cycle right there, 8 of Cups. And the cycle that needs to be released with the Devil here. All right, let's take a look at everything that's coming through and break it down for the month ahead here. Okay, so we'll begin with your catalyst, which is a way for you to stay on path, to be strong, to do the right thing, and to make change happen here. So we have this card of wisdom here. It says, wise one, grow within your current situation. So for some of you, there is a chance, I think this is with the karmic cycles, for instance, to really figure out how growth and change can take place. I love that we see either a raven or a crow and the owl here. So if we were to go to mythology, that would be like Athena, and that would be like Hades, probably the underworld. So we're looking at past life, and we're looking at higher knowledge here. High priestess, this could even be a little bit of Artemis as well. So we're trying to figure out how to trust our intuition and kind of combine what we know and what we need to know with past lessons here. So it is past and present, and trying to figure out how to make a better future from that. You can what's coming through right now, there could be some challenges because it's karmic. I saw that. So when we bring in a karmic lesson, it's not always easy to resolve or easy to deal with, but when we come out of it, we're so much stronger. We definitely gain the knowledge, and that's what you're going to feel as you move through the next month. There's going to be a lot more wisdom, and you'll be able to navigate the future a lot easier than you have before. So I like this card. It's probably, I can't always pull an equivalent in tarot when I look at one of the oracle ones, but if I'm thinking of wisdom, I'm really thinking of like the Hermit card. I think also sometimes of, maybe the Hierophant, because we're working with the spiritual aspects of it as well, but maybe a combination of the two. Cool card. Let's take a look and see how this relates to all of the other messages in front of us here. So we have the cyclical energy of the 8 of Cups at the center. Let's pull it up right so it's easier to look at it. There's always a chance in a cycle to walk away. And this is a sort of atypical 8 of Cups. Usually see one missing. So the person there's this sort of opportunity for them to come back. They take something with them and they can either repeat or release. And that's always a choice with 8 of Cups. So for some of you, you may need space. In a work situation or like an educational situation, this can be a sabbatical. I've done this for a while. I feel stagnation. I feel like I might need a chance to reset. So that's what this card can show. It can also be deciding to kind of go on a journey of self-discovery, take a trip, take a class, do something where you're going to deviate from the norm for a while so that you can explore something. And then when you come back, you decide, Now what? Do I want to keep doing what I was doing, or do I want to do something else? Yeah, I actually just had I could hear a kind of clairvoyant echo in my ears. I was talking about that, so that's pretty clear to me. You got the 2 8s here too. So you have the 8 of coins here. Also, they were both reversed. So this is introspective work that's going on for you, but they're very positive cards. So the 8 of Pentacles, 8 of coins is oftentimes revision, going back to school and studying, apprenticeship, and any sort of task that you would like. It's a building card. We see someone here putting together what looks like a tesseract, like a 3-dimensional cube. So this could, whatever you're doing could be able to like transport you to a different sort of track in your life completely. So I like the idea of stepping away and exploring something new. When you come back, I feel like you're going to be different and you're going to probably want to continue walking on that path. But the distance and the time off is going to be really important, okay? So with this, making and breaking a cycle, I like that we see a release of addiction here in the deep past. We'll talk about what's crossing in a second, but the 8 of Cups and the Devil are closely related. So this is a cycle, and this is a cycle that traps us sometimes. So if you want to stop something, this is a time to stop it. To get out of a relationship or some sort of an addiction that's not suiting you, this is a perfect time to do so. And we're going into retrograde, so it is a time to release. Perfect timing. So I like what I see with these cards, both reversed. It's about stopping a cycle, okay? Let's look at what's crossing the 8 of Cups. We have Page of Cups on top of it. That's you, Pisces. And this is also, you know, we kind of see the different boxes that are being built and not sort of like deconstructed, reconstructed. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't let anyone else try to put you in a box. You're your own specific person, and we actually see the person outside of the box. So this is really about living outside of that box, doing what you need to do, and trying to also think openly, receive, like I said, it could be feedback, it could be ideas or whatever, but just trying to always be open to what's available to you rather than trying to sort of catalog it or box it into something. Definitely can be new love, new opportunity. And it's also your ability, like I said earlier, to convey passion and energy to others, okay? Well, let's talk about El Diablo. He's been coming through a couple times this month. So the Devil card reversed. This to me shows me that you're starting to learn the lessons. When it's reversed, it's liberation. It's starting to see through things, not just sort of being, not being, it's sort of like a glamour, because Aphrodite could definitely, if any of the gods could put a glamour on, it would be Aphrodite. So I would say for you, you're seeing through the glamour that someone may try to cast, and you can see the true character, the true content of their character, in fact. And so with this card reversed, a couple of notes here. Don't promise more than you can deliver. Don't sign something that is going to restrict your freedom or your abilities. If you are going to negotiate a contract of some sort, it feels like there's even more room for negotiation with this card. And there needs to be equity. Things need to be balanced. If there is new love, the lesson here is to make sure that the person is available, that they're truly ready to be there. So this is a nicer version of the Devil card in particular, because you can kind of just see people pulling at the energy, and they're kind of being, yeah, again, it's kind of like there's an overlapping of their energy. And so sometimes what happens too is someone in your life can be so much in your, like, they could either be someone that you've been focusing on for a long time, and it just feels like you can't get them out of your head. I recently did a reading for someone, and it was that sort of, it's almost like an obsession, or it can be a crush. And that's such an appropriate metaphor for what we talked about in the channel messages. Jasmine is intoxicating. It's an aphrodisiac. It's a little bit goes a long way. It can also even be a sedative. So it can just, sometimes you kind of go numb a little bit. This is to say, wake up and don't let something sort of like pull you into that sort of spell of every day. Sometimes we can just feel like, well, you know, the money, if it's a job, the money's good, or I don't want to be alone, or I'm afraid what will happen if this happens. It's really about fear or comfort that's keeping us in a position rather than kind of snapping out of it. It's the Jasmine quality, which can kind of intoxicate, sedate, and pull you in. So love, or also it can be someone that's afraid of letting you go. There could just, you could be ready. You could be ready to quit a job or leave a relationship or move out and get your own place if you have a roommate. But the other person is saying, what will we do? What will I do without you? How can you leave me? And that's not enough of a reason to stay if someone is codependent in that way. So you've got to figure out why you're staying. Feels like liberation is the main sort of word and idea with this card. So what is it that's keeping you from the liberation? Is it something that you need to do? Is it an obligation that needs to be kept? Is it a contract that needs to be revised or kind of finished because it was a big commitment, but you signed it? And then once that's done, then what? So this is kind of like the universe giving you a reality check and just saying, it's probably time. Look at what's going on and make sure that you're ready, okay? But it is resolution, release, all the positives that can happen with the retrograde. By the way, I'll be doing a retrograde reading on Thursday of this week. So this would make sense for you to join it or watch it on the replay because that can help you figure out how to release it. But retrogrades are really good for RE type things. So revision, release, anything of that nature where it's going back, learning and finishing. You don't necessarily want to start something, but you can clean up old messes, release old things, and then as a part of that, you're going to open the pathway for something new. So by ending, you create a beginning. And that's the message there. Anything that you invest in right now is going to be really good. And the card is reversed to basically say it's okay for you to invest in yourself right now. And you're very close to completion here. We see that this is almost built, or this could be the building block that really helps you get to the next level. I like that we have like a tesseract symbol here at the center. So it will be transformative, whatever you want to do next. And because this is a portal that he's building, if you read A Wrinkle in Time, it looks exactly like the tesseract cube that they put in that book. Then this tells me that you can go further than maybe you're giving yourself credit for. You might also be looking for a mentor because this is an apprentice card. So maybe there's a training sort of seminar or person that you can work with that will help you. I'm all for it. Whatever you want to do for personal improvement and growth, it's on. It's great. I like it. All right, we have the Hierophant card reversed. You got a lot of reversals this month, but we are entering into a retrograde, and the ones that were reversed, I'm not actually upset about because Eight of Pentacles in reverse is personal development. Eight of Cups reversed is about breaking a cycle. The Devil reversed is about liberation. I read reversals because you get other messages. So cards that are sometimes negative become positive. Cards that have one meaning have a slightly different one. So let's look at this one. The Hierophant would typically be something that's very predictable about working in the constraints or hierarchy or the box. The reversal of this is saying, that's not me. I am a little bit more innovative. I am a little bit more open-minded. I'm a little bit more unconventional. And just like the page at the center that's above the box saying, nah, I've got another way of doing this. That's what this is saying when it's upside down. He's already open. Here's the cool thing. If you're going to work with a Hierophant type energy in your life, a boss, a parent, someone who is a higher up, or it could just be society, something that's rigid that needs to change. It's already starting to open up. This energy is already opening up. When you reverse it, you're just like, okay, now the top's completely off and we're going to create the change. You're that catalyst that comes in and really breaks through. So you have the energy to create change. You need to exist in an environment that allows you to make those types of changes, because otherwise it's going to be frustrating and you're going to be feeling like you're holding back or you've been held back. And we don't want that to happen. This is your time to shine and to grow. All right, let's look at the next card here. Seven of Wands. Great card in general. This is showing me you can handle anything that comes your way. The reversal of this one is exactly what I was talking about earlier, which is don't get defensive. You can defend yourself when you need to. So if you are going to court or something like that, this actually is auspicious, upright or reverse. It's saying you've got a good defense, pull out all the stops. But as a general sort of aspect of our life, this is saying there's a lot to focus on. One, you don't have to do everything. That was taping that sort of package together. Let some of these batons fall away. There's some, if you take this and reduce it, this is the only sort of suit that you can do this with. One less is success. You're working a little bit too hard, maybe not working smart enough. If you add another, you actually have more abundance. So you either want to bring in some help, work a little harder in a quick sprint to get to the next level, or work a little less hard. But what you're doing right now seems like it's a little off. So either amp it up or pull it back. And if you pull it back a little bit and take care of yourself, you can actually reduce quite a bit with wands and still be successful, because 6 is successful, 3 is successful, 4 is successful, the ace is good too. What you don't want to fall into is the 5 of wands, which is just sort of like not making the progress that you need to. So just a little less, just a little more delegation, just a little bit more yes, no sort of energy. Get it to the 6, and I think you're going to be in good place. Or amp it up to the 8 if you want to. So you're going to have to figure out how much energy you have this month and what you want to put into it. But something's going on where I just feel like it's too much. Delegation would be better. Don't put so much on your plate. Okay. We have the 6 of Swords, lots of reversals, but the reversal of this one is saying for some of you, you're getting anxious to, like, this could actually be return. So for some of you, there could be anxiety about, and I think this makes sense, getting back to things. Getting back to what it was like in the before times, before the pandemic. So navigating the return. For some of you, you're having a hard time letting go of something. So this could be a loved one. It could be a situation. You could be mourning the loss of someone, and you get to take as much time as you want on that, because for everyone, mourning is different. But this is about the understanding that it's so hard to see in this card, but there is this nice little island. There's a nice little paradise in the distance here. We always want to keep our eye on the horizon. And I also see them making really, it's almost like they're traveling at the speed of light here. These look like beams of light. So it feels like once you let the action happen, you're going to be surprised with the momentum. Okay. Another, again, we're in retrograde, so it's okay. And I do shuffle the deck. So with this, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is really deciding there's 2 messages. This is in your environment. So as an environment, I like the suit of Pentacles because it is usually about abundance. But to me, it looks like there's someone that's taking a little bit more than they're giving. And this is why it's significant to see it reversed, and it's in the environment. So you either have a chance to invest in someone or something. Like, I believe in this. This feels like it's good. I want to do it. And if that's the case, this actually balances that out and says, yeah, that's a good investment. But if you are feeling burned out about something, or someone, this card is saying, yeah, it's probably too much of an investment of time and energy in that person or that endeavor, because it's not coming back to you. So as far as like you investing in yourself, or you decide to take something and put it somewhere that it hasn't already been, looks good. If something is already happening and it's tapping you out, it feels like there's this cord and it's just taking energy out of you, it probably is. And in that sort of situation, you have to find balance. Okay. Those are the main messages there. It could be a new job opportunity on the horizon for you. If it is, I want you to really make sure that the money is good or the contract is good enough that you look at the fine print, because that sort of lingering lesson from the past is still there, to just read all of that and make sure that you know what you're doing. And if you feel good about it, then fine. But just make sure that you've made peace with what you're committing to. Okay, we have 5 of Cups here in the Hope, Spheres, and Opportunity space. This can be a card of mourning also. Sometimes before we're ready to make the change necessary in our life, we have to make peace with, yes, this is going to require me to do this and this, and I'll miss that a little bit. You're allowed to mourn the loss of something. The card is upright. So what I would say with this is just to keep focusing on the positive side of things. To try to not feel too, the energy of this card is a little stormy. So remember what I was talking about with the frothy imagery of Aphrodite, where it's about rising up and going to the higher energy and trying to even insert some ways to have joy or laughter, because that is a way to elevate energy. You can cry, you can laugh. Either way, you're going to diffuse and transmute the energy. Laughing can be a lot more fun sometimes. Often at funerals, there's a combination of both. If you've ever been to a funeral where there's a good eulogy or something, a great way to talk about someone is to bring those memories that were joyful, or then you kind of like cry and laugh at the same time. So feel free to use either of those methods in everyday life to work through challenges. If you can laugh at yourself, not in a sort of self-deprecating way, but just like, this is silly. I'm not going to worry about this as much, and I'm not going to take myself so seriously. I can get past this. It's going to be all right. Then you're going to be all right. All right, we have the King of Pentacles, also reversed. So we have a little bit of a partnership energy coming through with this. This is around you. This is where you're headed. So I always like them to be a little bit closer. I want to see a king and a queen or a king and a king if I can get them. When I see this, this is definitely more mentor-mentee. This can definitely be someone who is coming into your life where also they may have, their star is shining a little bit brighter. They have a really big personality. So I want to make sure that you don't get lost in the mix here. Now, as an aspect of your personality, we're actually going in the right direction. We have 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and then the King of Pentacles. So I like that narrative of slow and steady. And then you have this sort of tesseract between the Knight and the King, or where all of this sort of movement happens. So if you're patient, we're looking at 5, which is actually 3 to 5, or 2 to 5. It depends on how you look at how many cups are up or whatever, or down. But we can see the 3 here on the side here, and that's usually what I look at. So I would say 3 to 5 months for you. So we're looking at June, July, August, September, October, November. So yeah, between now and November, there's going to be some significant shifts. And by the time you get to November, you may feel like a completely different person. There's a lot of grounded energy for your sign. We did get the Page of Cups at the center, but we got a lot of earth coming through. 8 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. That's a lot of great, again, resource energy. And I'm telling you, with the sort of totem of Jasmine / Aphrodite, you can pull that energy in. You can pull the opportunities in. So ultimately, what I see you doing is pulling this in. And as a resource card, it came through when we were reading Aquarius the other day. This is the best. So if you can get the King of Pentacles or the Wheel of Fortune or whatever, you're in a good place. Those are the top when it comes to money and resources. So I'm feeling good about it. Do you believe it though? We didn't get judgment reversed, but the fact that these are reversed, the only thing that could kind of be holding you back is disbelief. So believe in yourself. I do. The cards do. I think that's key. All right. Let's move on to the expanded forecast, and we'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny next. Starting with health. For some of you, you're looking more at the past or even some of the present here, and it's feeling like the finances are stressing you out a bit because this is in the health situation. So if that's going on, remember what I said before, that you don't have to be the glue, the only one. So if you're the one that's working like 2 jobs or the main job and you need help and your partner's not doing their part, this is where you have to really have a chat with them and say, this is both of us, we have to find a way to make this work. It's also about letting go of the 4 of Pentacles energy, which can be a sort of minimizing way of thinking. So you want to start to go into expansive thoughts and energy. I'm going to find a better opportunity. I'm going to open myself up to more abundance. This isn't enough for me. I want more. And kind of put that out in the universe so you can start to call it in, because you're manifesting this month. And that's one of the key things for your sign during the retrograde is manifestation. So manifest higher. And this, again, if it were kind of like a tarot card, I would say this is 5 of Pentacles or 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles, it reduces, it limits, it's a limiting thought. 5 of Pentacles is often coming through because of things from the past that affect our sense of self, which then affects our self-worth and net worth. So giving yourself more credit and not selling yourself short is going to be key. There could be some finances coming through because of health problems too. So either the cost of insurance is high or you had a procedure done and you're just paying it off. The good news here, as we look at the future, is I see better energy coming through with resources. So don't let this compound an already sort of stressful situation. You want to focus on healing and growth, okay? Looking at some other health messages for this month. If there's anything you want to let go of, the Devil card reverse is saying, yeah, it's time to unshackle. Let it go and ask for help if you need it. If there's some sort of, if you need to go to a therapist, or if it's an addiction and you need some support, and go into some sort of like a 12-step program or something, this is the perfect time to start that in retrograde, because you're releasing something. You're doing the 2 at once. For the 8 of Pentacles, actually, if you are working, this is also just about making sure, we were talking about work-life balance, that you're just not going overboard, finding a way to have some fun, to have some levity, to have some joy as well. And King of Pentacles, we love them, but I don't love them reversed when it comes to dietary habits. This can be about overindulging in whatever it is that you shouldn't have. So it could be sugar, it could be fried foods, it could be too much meat, it could be something along those lines. So moderation, moderation, moderation. A little bit is fine, but just don't have everything all at once, okay? Those are your main messages for health. Let's look at wealth. Some of you need a vacation, is what I see here. We have time to breathe. Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease, knowing that you're here. Also, hello, this is at the beach, which I like a lot too. So it feels like some of you just really need to get to the element of water. Hello, that's you. But it also came through with Aphrodite. So it could mean, listen, if you're really busy, you can't get to the beach, the weather's not supportive of that. This could be taking an Epsom salt bath. Getting the frothy sort of energy in the tub too. You can do Epsom salt and also put in something that kind of suds it up like bubble bath. But give yourself a chance to be in the element of water. You need it, Pisces, to survive. And you can meditate in the water to release stuff. This is in wealth, but it's also for your health. So Epsom salt works because it kind of pulls out the heavy energy that we have. There's little salt crystals, basically. So it's like you're taking a bath in crystals. And it's a very detoxifying sort of energy. So feel free to do something like that. You can also get a salt scrub for a shower if you don't like taking a bath. Or you can get to the ocean if you feel comfortable doing that. Definitely salt water is coming through in more than one symbol for you. Look at your salt intake as well. All right, now looking at work. Some of you have been working so hard that you've lost track of why you're doing it. Some of you might be waiting for work to come back too. It feels like it's either sink or swim here. But whatever end you're on, notice how we have a protective energy. Can you see the reflection of the angel here? I was talking to a family member yesterday about guides. And I think one of the things that you want to think about is that certain angelic energy, I'm looking at the bottom here, it almost looks like, I can almost see like another reflection here. But anyway, you have a couple of guides, you have a couple of support, I would say a support team on the energy side that's there for you. But with archangels, with God itself, with your higher self, you have to ask sometimes. So just say, I am ready now to receive this. I need, be very careful on how you want to manifest a break. Because I once wished for it and then I ended up breaking some bones and I had to take a couple weeks off. I got a break, but it was literally like a break in my body and a break of time. And it was not the kind of break I was looking for. So what you want to try to do is manifest extra so that you can take time off, have more than enough, and manifest relaxation time, but be very clear on what you want to get. Don't just say, I want a break, because sometimes the universe is literal with how it brings it to you. I told this story a few months back, so apologies if you've heard it, but when I was working maybe 15 years ago with someone at a corporate job, she told me, she said, I just wish I was sick so that I could have some time off. She actually liked it when she got a cold because it was the only time that her children gave her a break and she got to take off work. I said, that's not a healthy attitude. And that's also kind of, you need to have better boundaries. You don't want to wish sickness, especially now. You don't want to just wish for things to stop because that can come through in any possible way. Ask for time off. If you have a job and you have sick leave, say, I need a day. I am burned out. I need to rest. Better to just do that. And if you're doing too much at home, ask your partner, ask the children, ask somebody for some assistance. But a break is going to help you quite a bit. I just want you to be careful in how you say things because the universe is listening. And that's what this card is showing here. So elevate the thoughts. I'm ready for more love, more abundance, more opportunity, more support, more fun. The positives, bring it up, frothing up again from the waves. Wealth in particular. Okay, I see growth across the board. 8 of Pentacles, you investing in yourself, possibly getting a certification, possibly mentoring with somebody. Knight of Pentacles, again, personal investment, ultimately leading you to more of a leadership role in the long run. The fact that we have both the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles here does tell me in the long run, you should be focusing on more leadership, more autonomy, more ability to speak your truth, okay? So there you go. And also this is you, this is your true worth. Sometimes we can't see it. You know, whatever's upstairs can see it. This angel can see it. This can even be you, your higher self saying, why can't you see what I can see? Okay. If you are in a job or a relationship where your partner can't see it, this is liberation. This is time to take a break. So we talked about the 8 of Cups. This might be enough is enough too. In a relationship, we're not looking at it. We'll look at it in a second, but it's a good segue. 8 of Cups is not necessarily a commitment. It's a continuation of something. So you could be dating someone for like 15 years or 20 years and there's no ring on the finger. And for some people that's enough, but for some, that 8 of Cups isn't cutting it. And so that's where this reversal is saying, okay, I want a little bit more, or we need to do this for legal reasons, etc. So this is a fear of commitment that could lead to this sort of perpetual engagement state. And if it's a job, this is like a contract that never results in a hiring, or you're part-time and you never make it to full-time, or you're at one level and you're never going to get to the next. We got to break the glass ceiling. So I feel for some of you Pisces, it's about looking that person in the eye and saying, I'm not afraid, you shouldn't be either. And if you are, then why are we doing this? Because how much time do you need, right? Especially if we're looking at 5, 10, 15 years, there comes a point where it's sort of like, where am I going? Where are you going? What are you afraid of? So you can have that kind of thing. And if you've been working somewhere so long, the same thing is, it's like, I'm a good bet, you know that, and this, I'm worth more. So I'm only going to have this conversation with you once. You decide what you want to do with it. Have something in your back pocket. If you say those words, you could just, instead you could say, I'm ready for, if you really want to elevate it, let's use the bubbles and froth it up here. If you have a boss that's not listening to you, you could say, I'm really keen on personal development. And it feels like I've done everything that's required when I look at other people in a position that I want to get in to get that. What is holding me back? Let's bake it into my performance plan for the year ahead so that I'm where I need to be. And if you put it in writing, they're going to be stuck with having to look at that. You can use this devil card in your benefit when you have to work with a hierarchy like an employer, because at a certain point, then it's boiling down to like ageism, sexism, or some other ism, and they don't want to be seen as that. So that's a way that you can make it work. But if you're dealing with this, why do you want to be with it anymore? So I think that if there's a devil type energy in your energy, why do you want to be tied to it? The most elevated thing is just to walk away and to find something better. So ultimately, there's that kind of opportunity for many of you, is being a free agent, releasing a contract that doesn't work, or fighting for something and saying, you haven't been giving me what I deserve, and you're going to wrong or right, but you still have that energy in the environment. But if part of your soul plan is to change policy, then that's okay. That's part of what you signed up for. You have to decide. I'm just kind of like laying it out for you. All right, let's look at love. Keep your composure. This is what I was talking about if there was any constructive criticism that came through. So with this composure card, you're not going to allow someone to get under your skin. Very similar energies in this. We also see the angel wings. You got to look really close on some of these cards, but I'm using a bunch of Kyle Gray's cards. They're cool because he kind of hides the angels sometimes. But we have the composure here, and you're just going to take it in, decide what you want to do. And then when you take your action, it's going to be even more effective because people may not expect it. They may not expect you to say something or do something when you do it, but you will have given it all the thought that you need. Temperance is really what I'm saying here. Listen, wait, balance as well. So it would be like justice. And then when you're ready, use facts, use the moment, like timing, it's everything. Let's look specific at some of the other things that are coming through with relationships. So again, make sure that someone that you meet is available. Make sure they can give you what you want them to give you, and that you can give them what they need as well. There's something here about getting real. It's in the past, so I think many of you have dealt with it, but if you haven't, it's going to pop up during the retrograde period, so this is the time to resolve it. There could also be this sort of, I was talking, we have a couple of very senior cards here with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. So they're basically two elder type cards, and we also have the wise one here, right? Lots of gray hair. So, and then we have pages and knights. So what I'm seeing here is that you might be suddenly kind of in a point in your life where you might meet someone 5 to 10 years, your junior or senior. And so there's a slight difference in age, but especially when you're like 30s, 40s or something like that, it doesn't matter as much when you start to see the differences. So you may be 30, they may be 40. As long as you have enough in common, as long as one person is an old soul and can kind of like work with the energy of the other, it might be okay. But what I'm seeing for relationships is a generational or an experiential or maturity gap. And that's going to be challenging for some of you. But if the love is there, then it's going to work out. But you might have to overcome some of those things. For you, it's a tricky time if you're looking for love. So we're going to look at looking for love, in love, and just not caring about love or focusing on other things. If you're looking for love, it's really about personal development this month. And many of you are working hard on healing yourself or working at a job or taking care of your family. There's something that's redirecting your energy from the relationship. So that'll be your challenge. If you meet someone new, it's like, how am I going to be able to balance this new person coming into my life plus these obligations all around me? So that's why the devil energy is coming through. It could also be Capricorn. We don't want to mislabel the devil card. Could be a Capricorn. We got so many earth signs coming through. So if we just look at it as a Capricorn, it's someone who's also very focused on themselves and work. So we need someone to give, and it feels like both energies are very busy. So if you're looking for love, coordinating schedules will be your primary challenge. There could also be maturity or age gaps that create additional wrinkles and awkward moments where you're trying to talk about something and they don't remember that movie or musician or whatever because they're in a different generation. All right, so that's what I see for new love. For existing love this month, it's actually not bad. Like both new and existing love, it does feel like there's going to be genuine chemistry here. But for existing love, it is about kind of like breaking this stagnation that some of you are in. You've been kind of falling into this predictable cycle. So you want to break it up. The Seven of Wands is a very sort of, it can also be a disruptive card. So disrupt the cycle and try something new. There might be a partner that's pulling back. I also saw in chat some of you are going through separation or loss. So this is about doing what you need to do to make sure that you have peace, quiet, peace of mind, etc. during that process. Ultimately, I do feel like it can be resolved for those of you that aren't divorcing, but I do see two people that are very focused on themselves. So it has to be about like, how can we bring you two closer together so that you're hearing and seeing things? So somehow you need to find common activities, common points of interest, and merge together there. It's really advantageous if you're not looking for love this month, because I honestly feel like the journey is about growth. And you can use the sort of Aphrodite totem that came through and Jasmine totem to attract things, to resolve existing problems, and to just really be abundant. So no matter where you're at in the relationship spectrum, personal growth, money, healing, all of that's going to be key. And I talked about earlier, I almost forgot about like the parent-child. We did get more paternal here with like king and knight, but I kind of don't read gender so much. I'm just looking at generational differences and a chance for some of you to try to come together. There might be distancing from the partner or the parent. So if you are speaking into a void, you can stop. I think the most important thing here is the door is open. They can either choose to, pick up the phone or walk through the door or not. That's all you have to do sometimes when it comes to family. All right. Let's move on to the outcome card here, which I call Destiny in the expanded forecast. Yeah, have some fun, dream a little. This looks a lot like the Venus that I was talking about, Venus on a seashell, if you look at that painting. And she's on a seashell. If you look at it, actually right underneath it, we see the sort of spiral of a shell. And this reminds me of like the Botticelli curls and all of that. So anyway, dream a little dream, Venus is telling you. And I think it's really important for you to listen to yourself. When I think of a seashell, I think of like as a little kid where you would listen for the sound of the ocean. It was just echoes, but it was cool. This is really about going within, listening to your guidance, your clairaudience. Cochlea is shaped just like the snail or the seashell. So listen to your inner guidance and what you hear in your head, what your higher self, your dreams are telling you. That's what I do on this channel. We go through dream interpretation every day. So dreams are really potent because have you ever noticed you can't hide from your dreams? If there's something going on with a person, or if you're denying something in your day-to-day life, it comes like, and it smacks you in the face in your dreams. You have to see it and you have to deal with it. So your dreams are going to be a really big portal into what you need to focus on. And yeah, it's really important. So anyway, I love this card. Let's talk about what's coming up next year. We're going to do a quick mini review, and then I'm going to go a little deeper. I want to look more at, anytime this card comes up, I want to see what is in the past that we can release. What's the limiting factor, the limiting thought? And I also want to look at the eights. You got the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Coins, and even like the Six of Swords. I want to look at like how we can move into abundance. So like move from a cycle or move into abundance. I want to kind of pull those cards together. So we'll look at that, then a wild card. Then after the meditation, I will answer one of your questions. So that's what's coming up. If you just joined, good timing. We're going to do a quick mini review. I'll also kind of pull in some additional insights as I do this. So stick around, and then we'll do the soul path afterwards. Your totems were really dual totems this morning. I started with Jasmine, and as I started to research, I realized it was Jasmine, which was really revealing Aphrodite as well. So you have a dual totem. And the etymology of that word is Persian or Farsi, and it means a gift from God, which is beautiful. And I saw that this could be an unexpected gift from God. So for some of you, you have to see it as a blessing that could be kind of right underneath your nose, but it's hard to tell. We were talking about the Sphinx yesterday with Aquarius. And so sometimes we think it's a really tough thing to figure out, but the answer's within. And this sort of cochlea energy here of the inner ear, it's sort of like you already know, listen to yourself is what I see with this. Okay, you know what you need. You know what the gift is. You know what the opportunity is. And the sooner that you do that, the better. The essential oil from Jasmine can do, it feels like just about anything. I picked the top ones that would make sense here. Anti-inflammatory, so pay attention to your joint health, your particularly like knees and ankles, since they have to hold up a lot, hips as well. It can be used for relaxation, so focus on your sleep schedule. Aphrodisiac is good. Look, we had a lot of energy here with love, so for some of you, it's about maybe rekindling the flame. For some of you, it's about moving on, but love came through nonetheless there. It's also an antiseptic thing, so just focus on cleaning things up in your life as well, both energetically and literally. Aphrodite and Cupid came through, and we learned a little bit about them. We'll talk about them in a second. The intoxicating smell of Jasmine is also a warning about moderation. So, you know, little goes a long way, and this is true in every aspect of your life, in love, in work, in career, in health, and food as well. Like we saw a card here with the King of Pentacles reversed, where sometimes he can overdo stuff. So we don't want that to happen. Manifestation is really, really key this month. And we see it going from 8 to Knight to King. So you definitely have a lot of growth energy and growth potential. I see the Lovers or Aphrodite as just that. It's like a gigantic magnet. And use it to create new partnerships of all sorts, friendships, work relationships, alliances, and love, of course. And also to resolve conflict, because you're a little bit more charismatic than usual. So use that to bring forth abundance in all forms. Let's see. Your heart has to be engaged. You can't fake it. People will be able to read that. It's better to talk about what's upsetting you than to have it come out in another way. We've been talking about the sort of birth, excuse me, of Aphrodite. She came through in that frothy, like the bubbles of the sea. So we want to kind of ride that effervescent wave in our own lives to make sure that we're always elevating things. There is also a message here about how they escaped danger. And this is really tied to Pisces. Because there were fish that came through. Either they became the fish or they kind of rode these fish to safety. And then the fish were added to the constellations as a form of gratitude. Hello, Pisces. So you're closely related to Aphrodite and Cupid, at least in old mythology. And this is also bringing about parental and child energy. I had mother and child, but we actually had father and child here that came through as well. So healing is possible this month, even or especially if that parent has passed or is unknown. You can still work with the energy. Someone might need your help as well, so be on the lookout for that. Some people are better than others at really coming through with saying that. So focus on being able to anticipate things. And if you owe someone something or want to come back and help out, this is a perfect time to do that. All right, be accountable and honest. It's going to come out in the wash anyway. So if I feel like this month you have a chance to grow. There might be some constructive feedback or criticism that's coming through. Just learn from it and grow from it. And then that person's going to respect you even more. They're not looking for an argument at all. They just want to relay some feedback, and they may have received it from someone else. And if you try to get away with something, it's not going to work this month. That's the one thing that I saw. Specifically, if it's a commitment and you're just trying to sneak out early, or if you give an excuse like, oh, I forgot, I have to go here, they're going to see it. So just say, I can't do it, or I need to leave early. You're going to be respected more. Okay. Sometimes we can't hold things together even if we try. And there might be sort of like a tower moment that's already happened, but you're still trying to kind of pick up the pieces. And this is really saying it's okay to let it go. It's okay to ask for some help. That might be the key thing too. You can't be the glue that holds everything together. And finally, the karmic cycle is repeating or coming through this month. You have a chance to end it and work on something bigger and better coming through. Okay. Let's now go to the cards here. Again, wisdom is the main thing. You already know what you need to do. So with this, growth is the main energy coming through in all relationships and in all situations this month. Trust in your intuition, trust in your knowledge, and trust in the messages that you're getting from the other side. All of it's coming together, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to handle what's in front of you. 2 8s, 8 of cups, 8 of coins, 8 of pentacles, basically. So a cycle that could be ending or beginning, a decision to invest in oneself, possibly to pick up the pieces of something that you haven't finished. You could be going back to school, getting a GED, finishing up some renovations, something that you've delayed. And I love that. This is perfect for retrograde. Put your heart into it, the Page of Cups. This Devil card in the deep past, which is reversed, is saying, moving forward, everything has to be equal and balanced and mutually beneficial. The Hierophant, reversed, a different way of looking at things. You're bringing an unconventional sort of approach. The door's already been pried open here, and we can see that. You're going to be the one that kind of completely takes it off the hinges so that there's more movement, more opportunity. And if you can't do what you need to do wherever you're at in a job or a relationship, this is about getting out of that. 7 of Wands, working smarter, delegating, stepping back a little bit and focusing on what you really can see movement in this month. You don't have to do it all. 6 of Swords, accepting change, allowing things to be released. Also realizing that momentum will start to pick up as you start to go further along your path. There's no expiration date on grief, but when you do start to focus on the potential, then all of a sudden it gets easier and you start to move faster and faster. Again, the sort of story between 8, Knight, and King of Pentacles, we see training, development, and recognition, but it's kind of like between the 5 of Cups, which is showing a 3 to 5 month journey to get there, so don't give up. People around you may be asking for a lot. Don't be afraid to push back or to ask for what you need as well. For health, finances could be stressing you out. Again, do what you need to get the help necessary there. Try not to worry too much because we do see some movement or some resources. So it might just simply be about asking for the help that you need. This also is about self-worth, which then ends up affecting net worth. So it's a good time to push for more and ask for more. Just be ready also to have sort of something in your back pocket where if it's not enough that you can move on. So for health overall, though, we're looking at trying to release that sort of financial burden and also trying to see yourself as being more worthy. In the cards here, letting go of an old habit, starting something that is healthier, keeping an open mind. And those are the main things here that came through. For wealth, we have take time to breathe. Those of you that are working too hard, realize that you are worth, it's worth having a break. People need to see sort of like your self-worth and your ultimately your net worth. So speak up if you need to. If you've been given time to sort of not work because of unemployment, you take an early retirement or something like that, it's also a gift from the universe to take some time off. Be careful of what you and how you ask for that so that you're very specific on how you want to create a break in your life. Mostly it's just saying enjoy, breathe, remember why you're working so hard. Otherwise, the wheels are just turning nonstop. All right. With wealth, we're seeing a positive trajectory here. The main thing that could be holding you back is someone that's not giving enough or someone that's not open to a different way of thinking or being. And in that case, you know exactly what you need to do, which is probably move on. All right, composure is going to be key. Don't lose your temper in a relationship. Be patient, pick your timing, pick your moment. For many of you, we see here that you're going to step away from something, as I said. For the rest of you, there's a generational gap, as I said, or a maturity gap. So this is you not freaking out if you're dealing with someone that's younger than you in particular. And if they're older, then let them tell their stories and everything, and then you can do your stuff as well. But there is a patience that's going to be necessary in relationships this month. If you're not focused on relationships, I think it's a good time to not be, because there's so much room for career and personal growth here. And the biggest thing that's going to pull couples apart would be sort of like that career and personal growth. Now, I didn't talk about this before, but the devil in a relationship can be a third party. This is why we do the review. I can see additional things when I look at it. It is in the past. It's not in the present. It's not in the environment. But for some of you, if there was something that came through, a promise not kept, a person that interfered with your relationship, an affair, any of these things, then it feels like you either are going to forgive or not. And if you can't, then it is time to move on. And that's part of that as well. People can change, but it's up to you if you want to forgive that. And if you can't, then you're not doing either of you a favor. Finally, listen to your higher calling and your dreams. There's a potential to really expand and do some exciting things this month. So let's do it. And we'll look at that as we pull the second card. But let's go a little bit deeper into the energy of that devil reversed and see why it's coming through. What's the limiting thought? What are you holding on to? Who's holding on to you? Because as we said, it can be somebody that's afraid to let you go. So if that's the case, we're really looking for liberation here. Okay, so I'm looking at, it is a control card here. This is probably parental or like a boss. This is someone that's holding you into a box, holding on to you. It's the Emperor card. It's hard to read it. There we go. So the Emperor card can be parent, it can be boss, and it can be just a very, very, very controlling person. And if we look really close at this, your entire journey, as we're looking at the next, year or two ahead of you, is really to push out of that box. That is not who I am. I don't want that. That's not me. So for some of you, this is really just owning that you never really were that, or maybe you thought you were, but you've changed considerably since then. So this is about trying to, be yourself. Now, as someone with the Emperor reversed, so we're looking more at the energy of that person. This can be someone in your life that, if it's a boss, they micromanage and they second guess your skills. So they would say, have you finished this? Or can I take a look at that? Or are you sure that this is okay? Did you listen to everything that I said? And at a certain point, you start to doubt yourself. Like, did I do it? Am I good? Is it okay? Will I be all right? And there's all of these questions of, your skill levels. In a relationship, it can be someone who can nag or hold on or try to control you. It can also be a parent that won't let you grow up or won't let you do something. So whoever the controlling or restrictive energy is, I'm here to tell you today, you are like the king or the queen here. You're okay. You've got everything it takes. And what you want to do is transmute and learn from that person that, just like a butterfly, you need to spread your wings, and if it's going to come back to you, it will. And the best way to move out of it is to release, give it space and walk away and find yourself, because I do see something restrictive there. So I feel like it's time to get out of the box. So whatever that means for you, that's what I really see. Okay. Let's take a look at growth. So we saw what was restricting you, and it feels like it could be a person, could be restricting you. So you're going to just step away from that person. Now, let's take a look at where you can grow and develop. I want to really see your journey as I'm looking at this from the Eight of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. So what can you do to further that journey of growth? Three of Wands. I love this card. So the Three of Wands tells me it's already happening. And that this is kind of like what I was saying. If you just look around you, there's already a key to this. As I look really close, it's kind of like this is a rope. If you look close. And we see the rope moving around. He's starting a cycle. He's moving that rope around, and we're seeing sort of like a freeze frame of the 3 wands as it kind of straightens out. So for you, I always love an active 3 of wands, and that literally is very active. 3 of wands, you don't want to wait for things to happen. The typical Rider-Waite-Smith card would show someone on a pier or at a beach or, you know, at the water line and looking at ships coming in. So it's basically saying your ship's about to come in. There's some good news on the horizon for you. This one is saying, good to know that. I'm going to make it happen faster. I'm going to put a little bit more rope out there. I'm going to pull it in a little bit quicker because I'm ready and I'm not hesitating. I really trust in this. So what are you doing actively today, tomorrow, this week, this month to get a goal brought closer to fruition? You know, it's great to have goals, but we have to do something with it. I had a doctor that totally read me once when I had he just wanted me to kind of like increase fitness. And I said, well, you know, I just got a gym membership. He said, are you using it? I didn't go back to that doctor because it was a little too salty for my liking, but it was point taken. So what are you doing? So I'm saying in a nicer way, what are you trying to do to take action? So the idea or just the sort of like signing up for something but not following through, this is about the follow through, and he's actively following through on that. And I really like it. So this is about taking the action this month, because the minute you do, you're going to start to see it happen. You'll get more positive feedback than you think. And if you have, like we see the sort of slack in the rope here, if you've been slacking or if you let something go, you can still reconnect with someone. You can still make it happen. I just recently had where I had to like resuscitate a lost opportunity from about a year ago, and it came back, but it took some work on my part. So you can reconnect with someone. You can pick up a project that wasn't brought to where it needed to be brought, you know, and this is your chance to sort of like resuscitate. So do some work, make it happen, and you're going to see quick results. Okay, I like it. Let's focus on the wild card, then we'll meditate, and then I'll answer your question. All right, we have the Queen of Swords reversed, of course, this month. So Queen of Swords, one of my favorite cards, because she doesn't have to fight, not in the traditional ways. She is able to directly communicate and say what she needs to say. We don't need to always negatively look at the Queen of Swords reversed. Sometimes it's good. An example of Queen of Swords reversed is no. Just saying that this isn't going to work. And then you can say, this is what we need to do. Or no, because this, and this. Not a big argument, nothing hurtful. It's just direct. So, sorry, that's my dog. He's playing with a toy in the background and it scares him. It's okay, buddy. I know. So, sorry, if we look at these 3 cards, taking control of a situation, well, taking your power back, not letting someone second guess you, pulling the slack back and actually starting to take some action, and then saying yes or no, or really starting I would also say the written or spoken piece of this. This could be picking up the phone. This could be typing the email or tapping out the text and saying, let's talk. Let's do this, okay? Anyway, that's what I see here, is that it's just direct, and we're going to embrace this Queen of Swords because she's also trying to cut through all of this garbage. Look at all the layers she has to kind of get through. So let's kind of get through the hierarchy and let's go straight to the person that can give you the answer. And that can also be part of this. I need to talk to the decision maker because this person or this person, it's not working. So work with the person that has the capacity to say yes or no and get this work done. Okay, I like what I see here for you. Let's meditate quickly. And before we do that, just a couple of notes. The next piece is going to be a silent question. So I want you to think about something that I haven't answered yet. Is there, a question about a relationship, about a life path, etc.? Whatever it is you want me to look at, I'll pull a single card. I'll do my best to give you a yes, no. Sometimes it's not going to be that simple. Other times it's going to kind of, I'll give you layers of meaning as I look at it, but I will do my best to answer that question for you in just a moment. Before I get there, if you're brand new, welcome. I see we have some new people here today. One way that you can make sure that you don't miss anything is simply by liking and subscribing. Let me just also demystify what subscribe means. You're not promising to anything here. This is the same as follow on Instagram or Facebook. For some reason, YouTube picked a poor word for that. So subscribe is follow. So if you like me, follow me by clicking the subscribe button. If you want to make sure you don't miss a video, you can opt into the bell notifications, which will give you a little pop-up on your phone saying Nicholas Ashbaugh is live, or it might send you an email. And then you can hit a thumbs up once during the video to say thank you. That's it. The subscribe if you've never done it, and then the thumbs up helps this video get sort of served up to other people. So thank you for doing that. You can go to my official website for more information on what I do, when I do my schedule, etc. I just said we're going to have a collective reading, two actually. One is going to be focused on retrograde, and one will be a proper collective. To make sure that you don't miss anything, you can follow me on social media. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh on most platforms, and I use Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube stories to remind you of upcoming readings, and I will also tweet it out on Twitter. My handle there is slightly different. It's @Ashbaugh. You can get all of those by clicking on the link that I pinned. All right, let's do the meditation, and then think of your question while I'm doing that. All right, so for the meditation today, we have to use the sea because of Aphrodite and Pisces and the myth and the stars. So we'll use the sea and also look at the constellation. We'll join the constellations. This will be about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then I'll answer your question. All right. Close your eyes and imagine that you are at your favorite beach or water location, but the beach would be better because Aphrodite came from the sea. Listen to the sound of the ocean as it crashes upon the waves. And I want you to allow your body to stay on the beach. So listening to the sort of frothy waves as they crash onto the shore, plant your legs onto the beach. You can even just lay back if you would like to, and feel the warmth and the support of the sand beneath you. Letting go of anything that you've been holding on to, fear, anxiety, doubt, stress. Just take a deep breath with me and let it go. Allow the sand beneath you just to absorb all of that stuff, allowing you to feel like you're lifted up. And as you're breathing, as you're connected with the sand, you could even kind of move your arms and legs. I like to do this sometimes when we're in the sand, and you kind of create one of those snow angels, but in the sand. And you can also draw like a complete circle around your body so that disk of energy is going to be protected. Imagine the sun is overhead and it's reinforcing this circle. Now with your body laying down on the sand, imagine that your spirit is moving away from your body for a moment. You're going to astrally project, and you can walk to the water's edge and allow yourself to float on the waves or on the bubbles that are kind of at the very end of the shore. Feel what it's like to have that effervescence, that ability to go higher. You can even imagine that some of the bubbles are so big or so powerful that they create sort of like bubbles in the air, and you could ride this bubble towards the sky, towards the stars. And if you want to, you can join Pisces in the sky for a bit as we meditate, and allow the stars to rejuvenate you, allow the beach to rejuvenate you, allow the bubbles to rejuvenate you. So you're working with the element of earth, of water, of course, and the beautiful fiery energy of the stars. And you'll be traveling through the air. So we've got all the elements here for the meditation. So enjoy that for a moment as I play the singing bowl, and then we will regroup and we'll look at your final question. If you are up among the stars or floating on those waves of the sea or the bubbles in the sea, just take this moment to really relax and feel like you're going to be okay. And you can pull this tranquility and this peace and this lightness of being into your everyday life. And anytime you need this, you can also come back to the meditation as well. If you are on the stars, allow yourself to float gently towards the ocean and ride one of those bubbles back to your body. Or if you are already on the waves, you can just imagine that you're going to walk onto the shore, find your body, and then reconnect spirit and physical body as you take the next deep breath. Rub your hands together, put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top of that, and open yourself up now to abundance, to lightness, to being able to be unshackled, because everything we did today allowed you to go higher and brighter and further than before. Gently open your eyes if you haven't already. We're going to take a look at your final question. So, think about something that I haven't answered so far and just focus on it. What is it that you need clarity on? What are you trying to fix in your life? What would you like to maybe focus on in the retrograde? And we'll do our best today to try to get a way to figure out what that's going to be. All right, I'll look at this as a yes, no, and then again, like I said, I'll give you some shades of additional meaning as we go into it. Okay, so we have a patience card. This would not be a yes or no. This would simply be for you that you can't rush it, would be my answer with this. So temperance is saying everything in divine timing. And if it's meant to be, it will be. So the Seven of Wands also carries with it that warning, which we had here today, not to force. So in a relationship, you can't make someone love you if they don't. In a sort of a job situation, you can't make somebody hire you if they don't want to. If you're trying to purchase something, it's either going to be available or not. This is a patience card. Now, it's a good card overall because we do see this temperance in the water, which is good. And you always see like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. One thing that I could say for you is the one thing that might be holding you back is your level of commitment or level of belief. So you really want to be all in. Temperance is not all in. Temperance is partly in. So I would say if you want to get more of a yes than a maybe, which is this is kind of like on the fence, then you need to commit more and really, really feel it. Not to the point that it's overwhelming for you or the other person, but truly feel like, no, and feel very confident. If it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not, it won't. But I am ready for this. Like really put it out there in a nice, strong way and then let it go. This has a kind of a rebirth energy with me too. Sometimes, depending on the card, you'll see I associate it with April. I associate it with the lilies and and some of the flowers on here. So we've already passed that. And I would say for many of you, it's really about taking the action necessary too. So either you're too kind of like on the fence or relaxed about it, or patience is just required in this particular situation. It's going to work out. Temperance is not a bad card. Typically, there's an angel in that card too. So I would say you're being guided. If there is something new, especially if it's love, if there's something key for work or business, you don't want to be too eager or too, it's just going to take some time. So I would say for many of you, this is a delayed yes. For some of you, the maybe's coming through because you're not certain enough. And for the rest of you, I would say don't wait just on this. Don't put all your ducks, don't put all your eggs in one basket. What you really want to be focusing on is some other things, because the way you can get someone else to say yes or something to come through is to have the other option already happening. Like, so find something else that could be just as good, if not better. And then all of a sudden, your answer is going to come knocking on the door. Okay. Waiting is part of this particular card, and I wish I could say it wasn't, but you can get around that by opening up other channels. Remember what we saw here with let's do a quick review of what we just talked about. So when I looked at what's your limiting factor, it's that others are kind of keeping you where you don't need to be right now. So in a job, they might be telling you, I can't survive without you. In a relationship, the same thing. They might also be gaslighting you, so you don't believe in your own leadership abilities. So you're going to reclaim your power, reclamation of power and ability to release. And then we were looking at how you could expand. It's about picking up the slack. Literally, he's carrying a rope and he's going to move it faster. So you pick up the slack, you do your part, and you're going to start to see really rapid results. And then we looked at a wild card, which was just say it. Say what you want and be honest. And when it comes to this too, if somebody's waiting too long, because we saw these two together could just be like stasis, nothing's happening. So if that's the case, break the stasis with the Queen of Swords and just say, is it a yes or a no? In my experience, when you push it, it usually becomes a no when that happens, because the person is agitated by you asking. But you'll get what you need to be free. And then a better way to do it would be to get another yes somewhere else and then let them know. Say, I just got another offer, or I'm focusing on this. So I'm just checking one last time. We're good, right? I haven't heard back from you, so I'm assuming you're not decided, or then give them a chance. And then they may change their mind, because then there's now a scarcity here. You become a resource that they want. So you have to make yourself more sort of like scarce, and that's a way that you could work around it. So you have to work. Temperance is a little tricky because it's not an active energy. It's either saying your patience will be tried, so be patient and it might work out, or find something else and pick up the slack. That's the main reason I'm going to say you're probably going to do better by going somewhere else or finding something else, getting a second opinion, getting another option, getting a back pocket opportunity, so you're not going to be stuck. Okay. Thank you so much. What a beautiful reading it was today, Pisces, and what a great chance to be here with you, as always it is. Just a quick note, if you like, as you can tell, I like to geek out on storytelling and mythology. If you enjoy books like The Lord of the Rings or Dune, my book is right behind me. It's called The Luminous Ones. It's on my website, and you can check out the link that I pinned if you'd like some more information about this. And it's one way to give back. Another way to give back, as you probably have already seen, is that you can do super chat, and I can see some of you just did that, so thank you. For those of you that have already joined the channel, thank you. You can join at any time. If you're watching on replay, not on iOS yet, but everywhere else, you can click the applaud button. It's right by the share option. And this costs $0, but it helps more than you know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and then comment. And if you want to share it from YouTube. And all of this helps with engagement, which then helps people discover it. The more you kind of click things on the video, the more YouTube knows that people are watching and enjoying it. And finally, I already talked about my social media links, but you can follow me across social media if you would like. You can click on my link. There's actually a direct link to social media. Special thanks to my moderator, Maria, for helping out today. Thanks to all of you for showing up. Let me give you a couple links for my upcoming videos. They'll be on my main YouTube page later today, but I want to make sure you have them handy. So let me show you. We're going to be doing a navigating Mercury retrograde, which is coming up here this week on Thursday. And then I have an end of the month reading as well. So you can see all of those on my main YouTube page after I finish this video. And I hope to see you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Much love and light. Have a great day and take care of yourself. And really kind of, reclaim that power and remember to dream. Your dreams are a powerful conduit and a powerful way for you to create. So I hope to see some great stuff coming through for you in the month ahead. All right. Much love and light, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.